Girls and guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. Now, we have got an E46 M3 on the ramp. This one, whenever you go around a corner slowly, or at any speed actually, traction control flashes like mad. Done live data, looked at each wheel. It's not coming up with any fault. There's no faults in the system at all. Which means we need to do a little bit of investigation work. So let's get it up in the air and find out. Okay, so looking in a little bit more depth, we're just turning the wheel, and what we don't want to see is shiny like that. So you see where that is all nice and shiny? That has had contact with the ABS or wheel speed sensor. As we turn it around a little bit more, you see it goes away. What happens is corrosion gets in under the reductor ring, whatever it is, bloody things fall in, swells up and then cracks them. So that's that side. We're going to check side 2. Okay, so again on side 2 we are looking for, no, there it is there. There's a shiny section there. And then as we're going round, we're looking like no more shiny. There's a bit more shiny. You see the reflection on it quite nice as it goes up around there. So yeah, these are what's causing the problem. They've swollen and made contact. So we've got to replace them. So now is the grueling task of trying to get the hub nuts off the drive shaft. So let's go. Well, they say new year, new me. Undone the nut straight away. So side 1, very nice. All right, side 2, wheel off. Now I've knocked the tabs out. Wish me luck, positive thinking. All right, so it is a multi-spline 36mm big bad boy socket, and we're on the Milwaukee on you will undo setting. Please come out. Wait. Okay, nuts off. Is it going to push back? No, this one is seized. So with some on a wax hammer and a couple of Hadoukens, this one's come out as well. 2024 is shaping up to be weird already. So that's good news. Now I'm gonna unbolt the shafts from the E-sockets on the inside and then get some rings in it. Okay, so we're gonna remove the shafts. So this one, E12's got it all loose. I'm gonna probably drop the shock bolt. I'm gonna have to take the rear roll bar off and drop the exhaust, which doesn't look like fun. Got it off just by wedging a screwdriver in now. I'm about to do this side, get all the E12s out. I've got a top tip coming for the ABS rings. I'm just waiting for them to arrive. Had to order them elsewhere because BMW wanted $650 or something aside to replace the actual whole drive shaft, but where there's a will, there's a way, and then there's our way. I managed to find them online, a lot cheaper. Different model of vehicle, but identical ring, which I'll explain. Well, hopefully, if they are the right size and stuff like that. So once I've matched them up and I'm sure they fit, I will expose the secrets. So in the process of removing it, I've removed one clamp there, taken the V-brace off. That bolt snapped, which has really upset me, but we'll just move on. Obviously, these bolts were in terrible condition, as you can see, the little stud that remained there. So all 6 of them had to be cut off because they weren't actually bolts. They were just stubs, we'll call them, held on by hope. In fact, this one didn't even have a bolt in it when we were getting to it. So now I'm going to remove center section and eventually remove drive shafts and replace a hell of a lot of bolts and spend countless time drilling that out. I'm going to try and weld a nut to it and see if the welding trick will get it out, but I've got the Milwaukee Thunderbolt drill bits ready and waiting. All right, so remove the bottom shock bolt, which is an 18. Now, nearly got this one out with a little, I'm probably gonna, I don't know whether, if I take the anti-roll bar off, I'm home dry. So this side is in that situation right now. So with a little bit of jiggery pokery, that's gonna come out. Got to do the same on this side. Both shocks are undone. When you undo the shocks, please support it under the rose joint there. Otherwise it will ping and it could hurt you. So please be careful. There's a public service announcement. So I'm going to continue getting the shafts out and continue from there. So roll bar is out the way. undone the 13 there and the 13 there. And the moment that I'm gonna potentially enjoy, can't believe that. We've got it here. You can see where it's been shiny, rubbing through. That is the problem with this. As you go round and round. Sorry, doing this one hand is difficult. Background to that. So that there was a big section that wasn't getting a correct reading. Now, I'll get the other side out. In fact, I'm gonna match up to make sure the new rings fit. Well, this is the offside shaft. So I've cut this one off, and this one was, again, very shiny. And I've taken a flap disc and cleaned up where this goes. Loads of lube, and I've gently tapped it down with a screwdriver just to get it to seat. Now, what I need to do is work out where this actually sits. I'm thinking it sits there, if I can hold the camera in the right place. So I still need to tap it down a little bit more, but I'm gonna compare it to the other side just to make sure we are in the right place. And then I'll tell you where we actually got these from. Well, looking at the other one, I think it actually fits within a millimetre. Let's bring this over and actually check, because we don't want this to be wrong, do we now, people? So, I'd say we're thereabouts. Maybe a little bit more of a tap down on that one, because I can see a little bit more protruding. I'll tap it down just a slight smidge more. Then I've got to do it all again. So I've got it, because what I didn't realise is I'd cleaned this up, and that other shaft had a bit of swelling. So I've got it to where the line kind of is, and I'm happy with that one. So I'm going to clean this one up and start on side 2. All right, same as side 1, we've done it to side 2, put a little relief slit in it, and you can see once the rust gets in there, that is just going to swell it up and eventually cause it to push in the wrong direction. But you see all the shiny bit where it's been making contact. Still need to check the sensor, but now we're going to clean it up with a flap disc and fit the new ones. That's 2 for 2. Okay, so I've cleaned it all up. Lighting's terrible. Then I just use soft edge of a screwdriver and just tap it down. But you got to make sure it's in the vise. So it does work better with 2 hands, but literally all I'm doing is just giving it taps down. So I'm gonna get that seated to about there and hope for the general best, but it's going on slowly but surely. We'll have it all there and then we'll be back up with no ABS issues moving forward. Well, there we have it. They are both in line. Remember, one shaft is shorter than the other. Please don't mix them up, otherwise, well, I don't think you can fit them if they're the wrong way around. Now, the funny thing about these rings is if you ring BMW and try and get original parts, they won't sell the rings separately. They will want £650 plus VAT for a drive shaft. Ridiculous. However, to save people time in the future, they're 98mm OD and they have 48 windows. So these little gaps count as windows, there's 48 of them. They are readily available on eBay and other places, but I believe they're BMW X5 rings, which you can buy. So that's that's saving a lot of money there. If people didn't look into it and did the research, the customer would have been nearly 1,300 plus VAT in the hole for something that essentially is like 30, 40 quid a side. It's ridiculous. Now, there's the money saving tip from me. The next thing I'm going to do now is rebuild the car, and then I've got to contend with that snap bolt in the diff carrier bracket, I should have said. So these are done. I'm feeling good, happy and positive. Let's crack on. All right, shafts we've just chucked in. They're all done up tight. We've marked them. Both sides, E12s, nice and easy. We've also put the hub nut on, make sure everything's all good there. That's not tight yet. So now we're going to fit the anti-roll bar, which is 13s and 5mm Allen keys, or 5mm Allen keys. Once the anti-roll bar's on, we're going to chuck the springs in and then just rebuild as disassembled. A little bit more of a fast forward. So shocks are in, everything's all done. I've removed the lower brace, which was a couple of 10mm, some covers, some 18s, and I have spent the best part of my morning drilling that out. Now, I can either tap it, but what I might do is put a bolt through there, weld it in place, and just turn it into a nut and bolt so we don't really have the situation happen again. And if it does, it is easy just to grind that off and do it again. So I'm now gonna root through my box of bolts to find something to go through. Now, what chewed straight through that was I used the Milwaukee Thunderbolt drill bits. Thunderweb, sorry, not Thunderbolt. These drill bits are ridiculously good. I cannot fault how good these are. I've used them a few times. I literally love them. Always keep a brand new set in stock because they are great. Now, let's sieve through some bolts. So what I actually did, I managed to find a tap for this thread. I think it's M10 by 1.5 tap. So I've tapped it. That is nice and solid. Nut and bolt. I'm going to probably trim this down once I've got it all fitted. I just need to know the correct length. But we've bolted it all back up. We have decent amount of clearance in there. So, I mean, that's a suitable fix in my opinion. To be honest, I could have turned it around and bolted it upwards into it, but I'd rather this way because at least I know that I'm double nutted and I'm double secure. So that is in there and on. Now I've got to refit, well, I've got to make sure everything's tight along here, refit that trim, refit the brace, the exhaust, etc. And then it's time for a road test. Still got to tighten the hub nuts actually, yeah. And then go over and double check everything. Right, we are all back together. This is all nice and tight. I was going to trim this off, but I don't really think there's any point in that. So everything's all on, exhaust is all on, new nuts and bolts at the front, plates are on, everything's good. Time to tighten up the hub nuts, new exhaust clamps, hub nuts, wheels, road test. All right, taking it for a nice road test. Done decent bit of mileage in it. Going around the corners, traction control's not kicking in, so this one is done.